If you have not heard about this, Elon Musk, which he's notorious for taking heat, but he's taking some major heat right now for a deep fake video that he posted on X or Twitter, whatever you're still calling it, of Kamala Harris. And it's a political campaign video that was created by a conservative, and it's supposed to be a parody. And if you watch it, and again, I honestly wouldn't even recommend going out to it because you're just feeding the algorithm with, this is what people want. But, it's, if you watch it, it's clearly a parody, but it's a deep fake. And so before I get into this, let me just set the record straight on something, because I'm talking about a political topic and I'm going to be talking about the actual event. I don't want what you think you may know about me or whatever to cloud my really truly objective analysis of the situation based on what you think maybe my political allegiances will be. So let me just first of all say everything I'm going to share is not based on any sort of political affiliation. I do not pledge my allegiance to the donkey or the elephant or the whatever other parties are out there. I don't, as much as I love America, I don't claim to pledge my allegiance to the United States. For those of you who know me, know my story, or have listened to any of my content, my allegiance is to Yahweh, the guide of the Bible. So I don't have a dog in the fight related to the political stuff. And if you ever want to talk to me about my political viewpoints or how it is, like many things, you'll find I have very complicated and nuanced responses, and it's based on a case-by-case basis, not related to anything. So me speaking about this is not in any way, shape, or form this is pro liberal, pro conservative. It has nothing to do with it. I really am focusing on just purely the situation, because it grieved me to see this whole thing. Truly grieved me, and not because of a political affiliation. The whole situation grieved me. So let's focus on what happened, because again, there's this deep fake video of Kamala Harris, and it's her, she's saying these things, it's all this other stuff, and it's Elon Musk posting it, and his post says, "This is great." And that's all it says. And when I watched it, I went, this is, first of all, just not cool, period. The video is very degrading to Kamala Harris. And I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican, somewhere in between. I don't think it's cool to make any sort of content that assassinates a person's character, that takes pot shots at who a person is. There was nothing in the video about her policies or even specific behaviors that people have observed with her and how that, like, it had nothing to do with that. It just was purely a character assassination of who she is and what it means for her to be, the political candidate she is. And I just thought, what is this that we're doing? And it just, again, it grieved me that here, America, considered by many to be one of the leading countries in the world, we've created a political system that is nothing more than people just pot shotting at each other and doing this kind of stuff. And so to me, watching this, I just went, really? Like, this is what we do? But I think it's very easy for us to point the finger and say, well, it's them, but it's us as a collective. Where we are on the political end and how things are, it's us. We feed off of this kind of content. We fuel it. We engage with it. We do all this stuff. And I just want to say, I did not find it entertaining. And I think it's sad that we've reached a point as a society where just tearing someone down this is great. It's not great. There's nothing great about it. I just don't care. There's nothing great about it. And I did not appreciate that one bit. And I think, anyway, so I thought that was disappointing and grieving, to be like, really? One of the leaders, and again, whether you like Elon or not, he's a well-known leader. He's a global leader. He has a lot of money. He has a lot of influence, and he's sharing tweets of videos, deep fake videos that are literally just assassinating somebody's character. And I think that should just disappoint us holistically. I think the other thing that really disappointed, and I will get to the technical side of this, I think the other thing that disappointed me, though, from a leadership standpoint was, you know, X has policies about how it feels about deepfake content and things that it says, hey, if you're doing this, like you'll be banned, we will delete your content. And those policies, community guidelines say you need to make it clearly notated that it is deepfake content, that it is not the person. Because this was not like clips of Kamala doing certain things and then them being spliced together, which I still don't think, I think those are gross misrepresentations of people, but it's at least the person. And this was not that. So it was clearly a deep fake political video designed to assassinate her character. And there was no mention that this is what this was. There was no watermark on it saying that this is a deep fake. And granted, in this instance, if you watched it, you would have been like, there's no way that this is actually her doing it. I mean, some people might at first glance, but I think about the more subtle opportunities where what if somebody were to make that video that was close enough to be real, but not quite. And what would that do? And how would that send people over the edge? And so for him as the leader of that social media company to be doing that and not following his own guidelines, and then on top of it, to then like promote it, to me, it makes me angry on a very deep level when I see leaders go, well, you're not allowed to do this and nobody's allowed to do this unless I like it or unless I want it, in which case I make exceptions. And to me, the hypocrisy of that, of dude, you claim to have terms of service on this and you claim that this kind of stuff is dangerous and shouldn't be used for this. And then you go and you make a post about it that gets millions of views and all this other stuff. And yeah, you might go, oh, it's harmless. It's just a parody. It's not whatever. Well, first of all, assassinating somebody's character, regardless, is not okay. We should treat everyone with dignity and respect, whether you like them or not, whether you agree with them. That's not cool. And secondly, who are you to decide that this isn't harmful? And what about the implications of, well, maybe it was, maybe somebody actually did see that and believed it as real, and you didn't follow any of your own guidelines. And so the hypocrisy of saying, this is what I expect from everyone else, but the rules don't apply to me, it's a terrible model of leadership. And I think that's something that every leader, which we all have, we're all leaders in some capacity, should be looking at ourselves going, am I doing things that I tell other people that they shouldn't do? And do I make exceptions when it caters to what I like, or when I think, do I let it slide because, well, it doesn't bother me or didn't really affect me, type of a thing. And I think that's not cool. Now, I think the deep fake itself, here's where I'll talk about the technology itself. This is, again, just a concerning example of how easy it is going to become and why we need to just be so alert to the fact that if you watch the video, it is Kamala Harris saying these things. There's video of her saying it, all this stuff. And could it easily be taken? And it's like she would go, I never said any of that. That image, that likeness of me was not me. That voice was not me. Those words were never uttered from my mouth. And I never had anything to do with the creation of this video. And that to me is where I think about the technology. And these kinds of things happen all the time, which is why I wanted to address, I think, the underlying problems. Because if we don't fix that, AI is only going to exacerbate it, which is exactly what happened. I mean, have political smear campaign ads been a thing for a long time? Yeah. And it's sad that they should, and they shouldn't exist. And we should care about that, not just the fact, oh, it was a deep fake, so now let's care. Well, no, let's care about this at a fundamental level. And then on top of it, say, and it's even worse, the deepfake technology was used to make this happen, because that is a complete misrepresentation of a person, to use their likeness, their voice, their everything, saying things they never said and representing it as though they did. And so I was just, like I said, I was grieved by the whole thing and what it says about where we are as a society. And I would say, if I think that should make us all take a pause and go, hey, am I participating in this kind of stuff? Because if I am, maybe I need to actually look in the mirror and go, wait a minute, am I tearing somebody down just because maybe I feel like it's okay because they deserve it? Or, do I look the other way when it's something that doesn't really bother me, but I would be super upset about it if it offended me. Like, I think there's an opportunity for us to do that. And if you did, and you go, yeah, no, I actually agree that we shouldn't have done that. Well, then if you did participate in it, do something about it. Cause if you retweeted it, if you post, go delete the post and go, you know what? I'm not going to contribute to this kind of nonsense because it's not okay. Don't just say, yeah, other people shouldn't have done it, but I'm not really going to do anything, even though I did. So anyway, enough on that. But I think again, a bit of a sad state of where we are, and an example of the kinds of things I think we're going to see more and more of as we continue moving forward. If we don't collectively say something and do something about it, and what that looks like for each and every one of us is going to vary. But we can choose to not participate in some of this stuff.